Protesters demand Xi Jinping and CCP step down. More than 13 states and around 84 cities are protesting against Xi Jinping and the CCP party that has been ruling China for over years. The protesters are demanding to put down Xi Jinping and his party due to his ultra-strict COVID rules and no worries for the lives of his citizens. Moreover, he has been making that much strict rules that people are starving to death. Maybe the number of protesters will have crossed millions till I finish this video, so subscribe and press that bell icon for me and to receive the latest updates from us. This is the first time ever that around millions of people together yelling to impeach their president. The thoughts in people's mind to put down Xi Jinping have been roaming till the time when COVID started, but they're unable to do so at that time due to lack of power. But now millions of people are in favor and protesting against the president of China. Let's take a look back at what happened in 2019 and to what's happening today that is making the people to protest against his party to put him down. In December 2019, China discovered a new virus, naming it as COVID-19, coronavirus disease. Each and every country of the world have been taking several safety measures to prevent them getting infected from this life-taking virus. In many countries, lockdowns appeared but for small times and are open for daily purposes like foods and groceries, but China seemed to have very strict measures from the past 3 years. When the virus is spreading rapidly in the Wuhan city following the death of the inventor of the virus, Dr. Lai Wenliang, Xi Jinping ran away from that city in a flight and didn't seem to appear again till the time COVID was at its peak. Xi Jinping started his zero COVID mission after all this has happened, but in turn of saving lives, it resulted in taking more lives than before. Millions of people were affected by COVID-19 that time. But as of now, in 2022, which is the inaugural year of the zero COVID mission by Xi Jinping, China was surrounded in a massive bubble by a never-ending cycle of mass testing, severe lockdown, and quarantine procedures. When China appeared secure in its bubble and the rest of the world was struggling, propaganda points were easy to come by. Xi declared that China's authoritarian system had prevailed over the instability caused by ineffective democracies, incapable of defending the economy or human lives. The CCP's propaganda apparatus increased its focus on zero COVID. In 2022, under the zero COVID mission, Xi Jinping has allowed the police and the other authorities to barricade and put fences in front of colonies' gates and people's houses to do a complete lockdown, and no one can go out from their houses. Well, it was just like a situation of curfew in place of a lockdown. People were starving to death from hunger. In fact, many of them were found shouting from their windows saying, "I'm hungry, I'm starving." All these instances didn't take over Xi's heart, and he still didn't allow the authorities to open up the fences or something like providing them food. Now, not only this, but the rules are that much strict that the police and the authorities of Jinping are not even allowing the factory workers to go to their homes as they are needed to work. And so they do. They haven't met their family members. For months, they are doing just 3 things: working, eating, and sleeping. This became their routine. Millions of people were dying from hunger and loneliness, and what's more severe is that the family members are not even allowed to go at the funeral of their child or any member who had died from the virus, or even maybe normally. They are not supposed to leave their house at any cost. People are silent till now, but their anger has crossed all the limits after the fire that took the lives of around 10 people, and many others were injured so severely that their life was also in danger. On November 24th, 2022, a residential building named Jai Zhang with around 21 floors caught a severe fire at around 7:49 p.m. in room number 1502. According to the local authorities, it was found that 10 people were killed because of the fire, and 9 were severely injured. Many of the reporters were rumoring and questioning the CCP party. That was it because of their zero COVID policy, which prevents the residents from leaving the building, causing them to be put to death. The Chinese authorities are refusing to claim their fault and still continuing their policy. This fire started all the protests against the China Communist Party and its leader and the president of the country, Xi Jinping, to step down and leave its power and place. The one-rule party of China is in extreme danger, as around the people of around 13 states and 84 cities are protesting against them. According to the investigation, it was found that a resident on the 15th floor of the building was taking a steam shower, and suddenly the circuit broke out. Till the time it was confronted, an electric spark was noticed by the other resident, which resulted in a sudden fire breakout. The residents tried all the measures to stay safe from the fire, but the fire spread out of control. The residents have notified the fire department to reach on time, and so the department does. But because of all the barricades, fences, and wiring, the fire department was unable to reach the site of fire. They were unable to break down the fences with the equipments they had, and also the car parking was blocking the fire trucks to get in and spread out the fire. Several videos on social media are witness of the fact that fire trucks were only unable to reach the site because of the fences and parking area, and also the water could hardly reach the structure. At the very end, when orders came, the bollards were removed and the fire trucks were sent out to save the lives of people that were inside the building and facing death. The fire was extinguished after 3.5 hours at around 10:35 p.m. The fire was extremely severe, and because of that, many were put to death. And the ones who died, their family members were not allowed to go at the funeral site. The protest begins from Beijing and Shanghai. Several rallies held with hundreds of people taking part in that. Police were unable to stop the protesters as they were in a very large amount. On Sunday, November 26, as protests over China's harsh COVID-19 restrictions flared for a third day and extended to many cities in the wake of a deadly fire in the nation's far west. Hundreds of protesters and police engaged in violent clashes in Shanghai. Since President Xi Jinping took office a decade ago, there has never been a wave of civil disobedience on mainland China. But as the pandemic has been going on for nearly 3 years, discontent over his famous zero COVID policy is growing. The COVID policies are also having a significant negative impact on the second largest economy in the world. I'm here because I love my country, but I don't love my government. I want to be able to go out freely, but I can't. Our COVID-19 policy is a game and is not based on science or reality. A protester in the financial hub named Sean Zio told Reuters. The police have mainly allowed the protests to go on, but on Sunday in Shanghai, they arrested a number of individuals and closed off streets. On Sunday, hundreds of people gathered for several hours on the banks of a river in the capital city of Beijing to sing the national anthem and take in remarks. Pictures and videos shared on social media show that hundreds of people participated in a peaceful protest and sang the national anthem earlier at Beijing's elite Tsinghua University. Many raised blank sheets of paper as a sign of protest and acceptance of the censorship. However, others have gone so far as to demand that President Xi Jinping resign down. People were heard openly yelling chants like, "Xi Jinping, step down," and "Communist Party, step down," during the demonstration on Saturday night in the Shanghai city. It was the first time in the history that people were crowded in a large scale together protesting to impeach the president of their only ruling party. It's quite hard to say what would happen next, whether Jinping stepping down or the protests still continuing. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to know more about this incident in our later uploads. We will keep you updated about Jinping and CCP. Bye till our next upload.